Welcome to Earth Roots Healing. Much love to you and yours. Let's go on a little walk out here to the front fence line so I can show something I've been working on. Share a few ideas for those that might be working on something similar at some point. Say hello, garden. Yeah, I know there's buckets and stuff laying around. A million projects going. Stuff going on. There's a crazy yard. Yeah. Let's say hi to the little avocado trees on these two heaps here. There's Uno. How you doing, buddy? Looking good. There's no bottom in that bucket, so it's just gonna, roots are going down through the cardboard. Cardboard's used to keep the swarm off of it so it can get big enough to stick up and collect its own sunlight, not be mobbed by grass and weeds. Let's look at Dose here. Dose was looking real rough for a while. Weeded it, watered it a few times. Started bouncing back. Definitely gonna make it. Right on. When they get their roots down into this giant heap of dirt here that's all just rotted compost, they're gonna go nuts. They're gonna love it. Here's part of the squash vine. The bee squash that just goes hundreds of feet in all directions now. Here's an old pile of tin I'm using to kill some sticker bushes. It's just laying there smothering them. Yeah. Like I say, a million projects, a million ways of doing things. All right, so I've been putting a lot of different trees along the front fence line for a couple reasons. One of them is to support the fence. You can see these old bamboo supports I put up here. This fence was all caved in on the property when we got it. The cyclone part's in pretty good shape, but most of the posts are either rusted off or torn out. So I propped it up with these, but you know, they're decomposing. They're not going to last forever in the sun and moisture. Some of them are already pretty rotten. So I'm growing trees all along the fence line to support it. And I'm using, at this point, I'm using mostly papaya trees because they grow really fast. If you look, well, you can't really see it from here, but we've got papayas that are less than a year old that are, I don't know, 10 feet tall or so, and maybe yay big around. So I'm starting to use a lot of them along the fence line here. So within a year, they'll be supporting it in a lot of places, key places. For example, there's a baby papaya there. I don't know if you can see it mixed in with the leaves. There's one right here. This is actually a lemon. But anyway, one of the things I wanted to show, it's just an idea that might be helpful. I'm gonna pause when traffic goes by. It can be loud on the recording. Anyway, see this little shelf I built? If you're putting trees or plants of some kind, bushes, something, doing some kind of landscaping that involves putting them on a steep edge like this, something really easy you can do is just kind of pound in some wooden stakes, put a wooden shelf to kind of hold it in. You can put some mulchy type stuff in there, some grass, some leaves, so when you water them, the water kind of sticks. You can put your soft dirt in there and hold it in with a shelf. Obviously, this wood's going to rot away, but by the time it does, these trees will be rooted way into the ground and growing well on their own, and they won't need it anymore. So it all kinds of works out. It's almost like the concept of dissolving stitches. You know, if you get a surgery and they put those dissolving stitches inside you, they last long enough, you know, that you're healed up and good to go, and then they decompose. It's kind of perfect. So, you know, I can just let this wood rot here. In the meantime, it does the job. Now, this shelf is not quite finished because I didn't plug it with dirt on the bottom yet. I just ran out of time yesterday. I've been doing a lot of different spots out here, and I'm going to do some more trees today. It's actually going to be a very crowded front fence line. The trees are going to be crowded, but that's fine. Visually, I think it'll look cool. It'll share food with people and us in both sides of the fence. Kind of make a sound and visual blocker along the road here. And like I say, it'll be a living fence post system. It'll be pretty awesome. Here's a, what are they? A Junta Terminalis. I forgot the technical name, but anyway, just a different design of a box. Bamboo laid up here and pieces stuffed in here, and then dirt packed in there. So when you water it, the dirt holds it, and then the grass and the leaves hold the moisture. Let's look at some other little silly examples of just how to use, basic junk. I mean, this is the super simplified version. If you have enough dirt on the edge, you can just dig a decent bowl. There you go. And then I just use these to shove the fence back enough that as this little lemon tree grows up, it'll come up on this side of the fence where I want it, instead of being confused or going on the outside. Let's see, let's go over here. Look at some of the more intact shelves. I know I'm far from the first person to think of this, but it's just something I wanted to share. Yeah, if you're, so here's a spot. There was very little edge between the fence and the edge of this mountain here, and I don't have some tractor to haul in and add to it, so I just built myself a shelf, right? Otherwise, this tree would be sitting here, this little papaya tree here, and papayas are rugged. It would probably live, but its growth would be really slow because it's dry here. Even when it rains, the water's going to run off this steep edge, right? It's not going to hold much water. So what I did, slap up a little shelf out of some old junky wood, put some stakes in, put a shelf, plug it off, so it actually holds water when it rains. I put a bunch of grass in here to keep that moisture in there. Boom. These things will grow a lot faster this way. And like I say, this will be rotted away in a year or two and gone anyway, but by then these papaya trees are going to be, 15 feet tall or something and holding up this fence for me, so it's not going to matter. This spot here, actually wild dogs have been digging. They dug through right here. There was a big bare spot and they had the fence pushed way in. They've been sneaking into our property looking for scraps and whatnot. There's wild dog packs around that do that, and they're kind of cool. So far they've been friendly, that they haven't been a threat to my kids, which is the only thing that would concern me about wild dogs. I kind of don't mind when they run around our property looking for scraps, but they were eroding kind of a bigger hole here, and I wanted to put a tree here, and so I went ahead and I blocked them out. I used a big fern stick, jammed it in there, used this pipe to shove the cyclone fence over and pound it in, so now they can't force their way through here. And that way this tree's safe and it'll grow here and take up this spot. This post, you can see I'm holding it up, which holds it upright, but there's a lot of, basically all these posts need help all along this fence, and none of them are truly strong, so it's all temporary holding. But when these trees are big enough that they're leaning right up against the fence, I can connect the fence to them if I want to. The fence is going to become ultra strong basically because the cyclone part is all intact and will be for a long time to come. So yeah, living fence posts for the win, little shelving units. You can make them out of all kinds of things. I mean, here where we are, there's lots of bamboo I like to bring home and build things. There's a tree with a little bamboo shelf here. Always put in grass and leaves, so when I do come out and water them, or it rains, they hold the water better. You got to pardon the trash along the edge here. At nighttime, people going down the road think it's cute to kind of toss their trash in the yard. I do clean it up from time to time to recycle it and whatnot. And I honestly think as we upkeep this place better and better, I'm noticing less trash getting tossed here. I think because this place was not really taken care of. The yard was just kind of an overrun jungle before we bought it. I think a lot of people just tossed a lot of stuff here because the jungle hides your trash, And I'm not saying everybody does that, but you know how it is. Some people do. Some people litter. So like I say, that's on the outside of the fence, but every so often we go out there and clean it up. I have to say I'm getting quite an aluminum can collection for recycling. Probably going to be worth a nice chunk of change down the line for something, Maybe I'll just keep saving them, and then when one of my kids needs something expensive to accommodate some goal or dream in life, that'll be the aluminum can collection. Who knows? So there's another papaya tree. I'd say total trees, I mean, a lot of these are bananas I put originally. Bananas are not strong. They're not really good trees. So now I'm putting stronger trees. Total, if you count the banana trees all along our front fence, there's probably like 80 different trees if you go all the way down it. And now that involves banana, orange, lemon, one peanut butter fruit tree, and then I'm starting to do a lot of these, the 3 Ajuga terminalis or whatever the heck they're called. I'll post that video on the end of this one to correct myself since I never get the name right. I know what they're good for, I just forget how to say it. But now I'm doing a lot of papayas, and I'm going to do some more today. And like I say, it's going to be a crowded front fence line. Let's get back a little bit and try to visualize that, what I picture for the front fence. You see this papaya tree right here? This is maybe half a year old, and it's, 3 inches thick at the base. It's already pretty strong. So, many of these, after a year, they're going to be strong enough to support the fence a lot, and from there on they'll just get stronger. But yeah, you can see a vehicle go by now, right? I picture us having so many food trees on that front fence line that it kind of blocks the sound and gives you more of a sense of privacy along your front fence there. And eventually these trees, a lot of them are going to be somewhat tall, like fruit trees, I think it's going to look really nice, like a natural living food making front wall to the property. So let me know, do you feel me on that? You see my vision? One more little thing here while we're at it. Not long ago I did a video where we planted 7 little calabash miracle fruit trees right in this area, and I thought I only had 7 live ones in my reserves, but later, after it rained a few times, 4 of the others I had that I thought were dead came back to life in these little cans I had them in, so I planted 4 more now. So we actually have 11 where all these sticks are. It's going to make like a little mini calabash forest at this corner, which of course is going to visually block that part of the fence and give us a nice patch of fruit here in privacy. So basically you'll have the cool looking gate where you can see out and people can see in, the entryway. Calabash forest here, and then just an awesome line of different types of food trees going all down the front fence. I don't know. I think it's cool, man. It's my garrison, and it's going to have a living food fence, and that's the way it is. Yeah. Any breadfruits? A few little ones forming up in here. Yeah. Anybody know what this tree is? Any Puerto Rico people watching right now? Let me know. I know it's something important. It's here on purpose. So I didn't take it out. Plus it looks cool in the rock garden. Yes, I have some cardboard I threw in there. I'm going to spread it out, lay it down, try to kill down all those weeds that keep overgrowing my rock garden. Maybe plant something in there, a garden inside the rock garden, as well as increase the rock walls. So, many projects are in the works all the time. And it's starting to rain, so I'm going to go ahead and get this phone, my wife's phone, out of the rain. Hopefully you guys enjoyed a few updates. Here's the sun shed. Call it the sun shack. I can go in there and suntan. Starting to throw aluminum cans back in there and pile them up. I haven't bagged them yet. Like I say, I've collected a lot of them. It's going to be not, and those aren't just from this property. I've collected them from the side of the road a lot of places in Puerto Rico. Whenever I pull over, I pick up whatever aluminum cans are there. It's just my way of, saying I'm thankful to be here and help take care of this beautiful piece of the world. And like I say, one day that might be some kind of a good resource of when I recycle it, we recycle it. Be a nice little fund for something down the line. So anyway, that's this moment. Oh yeah, and cans are also good for pellet gun practice. This little shooting range, I got to set it up again so Neos and I can keep working on our sniper skills. Back here, where you see those old blankets and rags. That's a temporary thing, what I'm doing there. Yeah, let's go back and look at that. It's not raining too hard. This video's just kind of all over the place, but sometimes people like the all over the place videos. So a couple things back here. The blankets, these are old worn out rags. Some of them I found. Some of them are things I just wore till they fell off. These are cacao trees right here, okay? And they're little. And before I put these blankets around them, every time I turn my back, there'd be vines all over them, strangling them. Really slowing down, suppressing the growth. So because I have so many things going on, I can't always weed everything all the time. I realized that anytime you can pile, wood or metal or cardboard or rags or anything around to keep all the vines and plants down off something, it allows the tree to grow a lot faster. And then, in another, I don't know, half a year, these will be big enough I won't have to worry about it anymore. I can take the old rags out and throw them out. And the trees will be big enough to get their own sunshine, fend for themselves. The little weeds and vines won't slow them down anymore. So it's not just random trash. It serves a purpose. It's to accelerate growth and get things going. This is a papaya tree that's less than a year old, okay? And that must be at least 10 feet high, probably more, honestly. Yeah. So, like I've shown you out on that front fence line, when I have, 30 of these going all down it in key places by next year or something, I'm not going to have to worry anymore about, propping it up with temporary fixes. I'm going to have a lot of fence posts to work with. This is a garden box that something didn't work out in, so I took this old tarp that I found. Actually, one of these I found, one of them was one we had that got destroyed by wind and sun. And I just put it on it and held it down with rocks and sticks to kill all the weeds that were growing in this box. And after a while, when they're fully, completely dead and just mulched, it'll be ready to plant something else. This garden triangle box is back here where it doesn't get a lot of sun. So it's mostly blocked by these trees, and that's a good thing for growing certain types of plants. So I'm keeping it and just prepping it ahead of time. So, when we have something that we need a low sunlight area, this box, this container will be just right for it. The dirt's already there, but it was growing too many weeds, and so this is just killing them all. And about the time we figure out what we're growing in, it'll be ready to go. And that'll be that. Another interesting thing, and I could be wrong, but I think from talking to a local neighbor around here and seeing what he's got, I think this, with these balls on it and these spikes, this plant has spikes. Here's where it goes in the ground, down there. It's like 3-4 inches thick at the base of it right there. I think this is a type of wild yam that our neighbor was describing to us, because he has some very similar to this up at his place. That's what he said they are. I don't particularly want to get a pick and dig all this ground out because it's around a lot of trees and roots. Probably take me forever just for a couple yams, whatever they are. But if I can figure out if these are the seeds, these balls growing all over it, which it seems they would be, I'll build a container, an above ground container that I can set on somewhere on the concrete we have, and I'll grow these in it. And then when I want to harvest them, I can just pop the container open, let all the dirt out, and easily get to them. So that's one of my many projects I have on my list. These trash cans right here are actually for water. A little bit of water. They're mostly empty, these particular ones. They're sitting under the overflow off of our tanks. During the raining season, these tanks will all fill, and this overflow just runs like crazy. I mean, this ground, this last summer was just flooded every day, just flooding off the hill. So I'm going to line these tanks up in a way. I'm going to dig different heights of dirt. We have more of these garbage cans. We might have, I don't know, like 8 of them or something. And I'll set them all at different heights to where I can get the water to pour into one, and as it overflows, I can get it to pour into all the others. I'm gonna basically just set it up back here to where it at least fills these, because we like to catch rainwater anywhere it's easy to do so. We use it for watering. This time of year right now, we're using it a lot for watering. These are just odds and ends, things like this. It's not random trash at all. Well, this one is now. It's pretty much sun beaten to death, but a thing like that I can start a tree in, put a bunch of soft dirt in it, and then after the tree gets established, just take it away and throw it away. Same with old tires. They make protective barriers for, say, starting a tree. And then when the tree gets a little bigger and it's kind of gone through the soft dirt into the hard ground, I can just pull the tire off the top and get rid of it. Tires come in handy for a lot of things, believe it or not. Logs come in handy, rocks come in handy. So yeah, I guess I've rambled on enough. Hopefully you're having a great day wherever you are. This is more He Shall Woo. This is this container is going to be more He Shall Woo, where I can really do it right, because the roots can grow 6 feet long. This isn't 6 feet, but it's closer. So when this is full and I plant some here, it'll really be able to develop some big roots in there. And then when the day comes years from now, I'm ready to harvest them, all I got to do, cut this baling wire, unwrap it, pop this thing open it up, pull the dirt out, get to the roots. Just like I was talking about with the wild yam type project. A lot of things, it's just a lot easier to grow them in containers and apparatuses you can just pop apart later when you want to harvest the roots. This may look silly and junky right now, but as this gets going, it's going to just become a sea of green. This whole area, including everything up here, it's going to be like an island. Try to step back and give a perspective. There's just going to be right here between our house and our old shed, there's just going to be this green island of nothing but these kind of leaves. Because this is a long-term project. He shall woos, 3 to 7 years to really develop the roots fully. And as you can see, it loves to climb. It'll climb all over everything and cover it. We've been watering these minimally to be conservative with water we have during the dry season. As it gets into summer, everything's going to be growing faster. These are all new little babies planted in here where the potatoes didn't make it, but it's going to get really thick. They grow really long. They're going to be hanging out, and it's going to be lush. It's going to look really cool, believe it or not, down the line. So that's that for now. A few updates from Earth Roots Healing. I got to plumb these tanks before the rainy season gets here. There's no point really right at the moment because it won't rain enough to even fill the 2 I have plumbed right now. But before summer gets here, I'm going to plumb all those tanks together, and we'll be sharing that too. And then it'll fill them all easily. It gets to where it rains hard almost every day right here where we happen to live. It's pretty awesome. So that's that. Much love to you and yours. Have the best day ever. Over and out for now from Earth Roots Healing.